I'm going to ask a question. I got the mic. You mentioned compassion as one of the routes to happiness. I think it was in your third section. But some people that I know from the Tibetan tradition put a great deal of stress on compassion, and the two forms of meditation which seem to be taught most in Britain now are mindfulness, which is rather self-regarding, and compassion, which is other-regarding. And I would really like to know what you think should be the proper balance in meditation between the pure awareness and compassion, which is reaching out.
所以说，教授说现在该他来问问题，因为他已经拿到麦克了。然后他说，您刚才在第二部分的时候呢，讲到说慈悲是幸福的根本。然后他说，他知道有两种这种修法嘛，就是说，一个是就是说那种很纯粹的正念的修法，这种正念修法的话，它可能是更多都是纯粹的是在关注自己的这种，然后的一种禅修方法。然后那个慈悲的话，就是说我们更多的是去看别人，去关注别人，怎么去帮助别人。那么这两种修法的话，一个是对自身的一种关注，一个是对他人的一种关注。这两种之间，是怎样子，就是说有一个更好的一个平衡？请您在这方面的一些介绍。
我们一般讲其实自身的这种正念禅修呢，为了自己的利益达到更高的境界呢，他也可以修行。然后为了别人的这种利益呢，他也可以正念禅修。但关键是他的意乐动机呢，如果为自己而修的话，他的这个力量和效果呢并不是特别大。如果为他人而修呢，这个功德或者是力量是更大的。尤其是我们修慈悲心，按照佛教讲，就是这叫做是大乘佛教。也就是说，我们想开始就是想帮助别人的这种意念不断的丰富，然后在实际行为当中呢，到时候可以我们自己的这种心得到一定的境界的时候，就可以帮助非常非常多的人。为什么现在有些人虽然是一个弱小的人，但是他会帮助这个世界各个的各种各样的人。其实这个人的一种修行境界到一定的时候呢，他可以发挥这种力量。所以说这是可能次第方面的，次第方面还没有到很高的境界的时候，自己禅修。到了一定境界的时候，心力再扩大，就是慈悲心再扩散。
For mindfulness meditation, it is about the concentration about yourself, but the motivation can be different. Your intention can be different. You can do the mindfulness meditation just for your own interest or your own benefit. But at the same time, you can do mindful meditation for the benefit of other beings. You can have these two kinds of intention or motivation. But if you have the motivation for only your own benefit, then it's not so powerful. It will be weakened. But if you do the mindful meditation for all the other beings, then the merit and the power will be stronger. So it really depends on your intention or your motivation. Then about the compassion meditation or practice or cultivating compassion, that is a category of meditation emphasized in Mahayana Buddhism. That is, you want to help others. You make wishes, I want to help other beings, like that. And then you go out, take action to do that. And when you reach a kind of level of this kind of meditation or cultivation, then you can really help other people. You can see nowadays some people, one person but they can help people all around the world. That's because their meditation, their realization have already reached some high level, so that they can do that. So I think mindfulness meditation and compassion and cultivation or meditation, there are just the different levels. So at first, you may have to focus on mindfulness meditation to improve your own practice, your own state of mind. And then when you reach a very good level of that kind of meditation, then you can go ahead to do the cultivating compassion or that kind of meditation, compassion meditation.
Hello, thank you very much for sharing your opinion. My question is, what is the Buddhist view on death or losing your loved ones? Because I feel like even if you kind of like try to find your inner happiness, I feel like those would be the constraints that would kind of like limit like for you to reach that point. So what I wonder is how we should view death. Like how do we see death, and so that we can actually kind of like decrease our level of suffering. Thank you.
Okay. 教授刚才说他的问题非常好，然后他的问题就是说，从一个佛教的角度，怎样去看待死亡，特别是我们就是说很亲爱的一些人，他们去世。因为虽然我们确实可以像您刚才讲的这样子，就是说去寻找内心的一种幸福和快乐，但是他感觉到就是说，当这个亲人去世的时候，好像这个内心的就是本有的这种快乐，好像就有一个它的一个限制了，就没办法了，就进行下去了。所以说，他想知道说，我们应该怎样子正确的去看待死亡，然后让我们的就是在面对死亡的时候的痛苦能够减少。
我也觉得你的问题很好。
Kendall said, "I also think your question is very good."
当你面对死亡呢，可能不一定那个时候可能非常快乐啊，但是如果有一些，比如说佛教就刚开始的时候，我们会关心人的生老死病、生老病死，这是必经之路。虽然有些民族和有些国家根本不能提死的字，就它不吉祥，它很忌讳它，但实际上我们佛教呢，就首先的是对死亡有所准备，而且我们会讲一切万法都是无常的，感情也无常的，家庭也无常的，包括我们每一个人呢，也会到一定的时候离开。那么我们首先心里有准备的时候，当一个人死亡呢，他会有一些伤心，但是不会就是特别的，你知道是这个真相，因为他的生命是不可能永远是很长不变的。首先我们都有这样的一个非常明确的规律，这个规律很清楚的时候，我们不会特别的痛苦，而且很淡定。所以我自己认为这样的，我并不是赞叹佛教，特意赞叹佛教，但是有时候有些修行呢，可能真的在实践当中所发生的很多问题，包括一些无常的死亡啊，就这些都是提前有所修行的话，面对生活、面对压力非常容易。
So when we face death, it is natural that we are not so happy. That's something we all have to admit. But in Buddhism, in Buddhist training, at the first beginning of most of the Buddhist training, we will study the law or the definite result or what is going to happen in our life is birth, aging, sickness, and death. So these four things, no one can avoid it. But I know some places in the world, in this world, when you mention about death, it's something kind of like a taboo. You cannot mention that in front of people. People will feel like while you are talking about death, that's something inauspicious. But this is something true. And also in Buddhism, we talk about impermanence a lot. So your relationship, your family can be impermanent. And everyone has to die. That's something unshakable. We all have to die. That's something we have to prepare in our mind. So if you have already prepared in advance before some loved one die, when they really die, you may still feel sad, but you know they're not going to stay in this world forever. And because you already learned those principles, this four phenomena, no one can avoid, then you will not feel extremely sad. And here, people said, I'm not trying to praise or say high of Buddhism, but for a lot of Buddhist practitioners, because they have this kind of training, they have already familiarized their mind about what's going to happen in their life and in their friends or their loved one's life. So when they face suffering, when they face death, they know this is something normal. They will not be so sad. So if we all have this kind of training or this kind of preparation in advance, then we can face anything in our life calmly.
阿弥陀佛，顶礼上师。我是欧洲菩提学会的学员，非常的开心今天在这里见到上师到来闻法。同时，我有2个问题想请问上师。第一个是关于这个放生的问题，因为是在我们在欧洲这个地方呢，很难买到这个活的河鱼那些物品。那这样子的话，就制约了我们放生想放生的这些很多道友。另外一方面呢，这里可以买到很多活的海鲜，但是呢又离海边有一点距离。这种情况之下呢，我们这些道友之间有一个探讨，就是说，要么就不放，有些人说要放就拿到海边去，有些人就觉得，先从屠刀下把它救出来。反正放到那个湖里，而且这个湖也通向海的一部分而已，这样子都好过不放。我想请求上师回答这个问题。第一，第二个问题就是关于这个临终关怀，因为我们这边
简单的问，好吧，一个就可以吧。
临终关怀，对不起，谢谢上师。好。
So her question was. Because in Europe it's not so easy to buy live creatures, because she's talking about liberating those captured animal, fish or creatures like that. Because here it's so hard to buy live creatures, especially freshwater creatures in there, like fish. So they buy marine creatures, and her question was, if they buy marine creatures, they have to go to the oceans to release them. So her question was, should they do this, still do this, or they should? So it's very hard. She wants to get some suggestions from Kempo to suggest them to do it better.
可能放生要如果海鲜就是比较远一点的地方，我们在那边卖的时候，有时候经常放到开2-3个小时开车的地方，每天去，就是所以可能英国不是很大的，就是到海边也不会很困难，所以如果要是放生呢，就是最好是到海里放啊，就是让他的生命就很安全的度下去，这方面可能要想办法。就是关于放生的问题，可能还要就是你们很多对放生有兴趣的人呢，应该可以就关心，因为我经常看到欧洲这边就是保护动物协会的人经常示威游行啊，有很多一些对保护动物方面，当然是这方面我相信有很多经验，你们好好研究研究。
Kiko's advice for her is I think she thinks it's hard to release those ocean fish to oceans because maybe it's too far. Kiko said because here in UK is not so big, so it's not hard to go to the ocean side to release them. Like back in China, people always like drive 2 or 3 hours to release those captured creatures. So he thinks it's okay for them to still do this. And also, Kim said maybe they should study more about how to put them in a safer place, how to make them live better. Because in Europe, people emphasize a lot about animal rights and protection. So he thinks it's a good thing to do. Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry there's not time for more, but I want to say that this has been an amazing experience for many of us, I think all of us. We don't often have the opportunity to receive such wisdom on the most basic things of life. We tend not to talk about them, and this way of talking about them, I think, is a quite wonderful way. I think it is the case, in my view certainly, that many of the problems of the West will only be solved by greater use of the wisdom of the East. I think that this is a wonderful example of that, and we've been very privileged to have it. So, Khenpo, you've got your memento from the LSE, and I think we would all like to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. What a lovely